You paid attention in class, took detailed notes, read every chapter, and even attended extra lessons at school after class. So you should do great on the big exam, right? But when the test is presented, you find yourself so nervous that you blank out the answers to even the easiest one. If this experience sounds familiar, then you might be suffering from test anxiety.
According to Kendra Sherry, 2018, many people experience stress or anxiety before an exam. In fact, a little nervousness can actually help you perform your best. However, when this stress becomes so excessive that it actually interferes with performance on an exam, it is known as test anxiety.
But what is test anxiety? Well, it's a type of performance anxiety in which people experience extreme distress and anxiety in testing situations. In circumstances where the pressure is on and a good performance counts, people can become so nervous that they are actually unable to do their best. This reminds me a lot at the PSU, for example. And while many people experience some degrees of anxiety and stress before and during exams, test anxiety can actually impair learning and hurt test performance.
One of the reasons that causes test anxiety is the lack of preparation. People who don't study with proper time can leave them feeling anxious and overwhelmed before a test. Also, the student expectation is another reason. For example, if a student believes that she is going to do poor on a test, it's more likely to become anxious before and during the exam. Finally, another reason is having a poor test history. Problems in the past about evaluations can lead to problems and negative thoughts during the test.
Okay, so test anxiety has some physical symptoms such as headaches, nausea, sweating, shortness of breath, dizziness, diarrhea, and even the feeling of fainting. And those symptoms can lead to panic attacks, which are like when you feel intense fear and you are like feeling that you can't breathe. And yeah, so physical symptoms along to emotional ones in which you feel angry, you feel feared, disappointed, and also you have like behavior and cognitive ones, which are like when you have difficulty to concentrate yourself, to think, you start thinking negatively and you compare yourself to the other people.
During a class, a recently graduated teacher freezes up and forgets the information he was going to present to his students. A pedagogy student becomes very anxious before a big exam of lexicon. During the exam, he is so overwhelmed by this stress that he starts to suffer stomach problems.
Stay healthy. Positive attitude.
Being prepared.
Stay focused. Relation techniques.
And visiting the counseling center.
Do you know what test anxiety is?
I might imagine is when someone is feeling anxious regarding to taking a test, I think. Might be, I don't know.
Yeah. How do you deal with test anxiety?
I think it's just a matter of thinking and relaxing yourself and understanding that it's just a test and nothing more than that. Just an evaluation and assessment, I think.
What do you do when you see one of your students is suffering of test anxiety?
I try to talk to them and let them know this is just a test. Strategies, that would be another idea. Not testing on them or not assessing on them things that they haven't seen before. And perhaps let them know that it's just a test. Basically, that's the whole idea.
What do you do in order to avoid your students' test anxiety suffering?
Preparing there for the test. I mean, you should not be assessing things before just out of the blue, like presenting them the new assessment with a new item. They don't know how to answer that. because that will raise their anxiety, their stress. And on the one hand, and on the other hand is again reducing the value they are putting inside the test. I mean, it's just a test, and that's it. I mean, letting them know that it's just a test.
In conclusion, in this project we learned a lot about test anxiety. What is it, the symptoms, causes, how does it feel, and of course some tips to deal with it. Also, some experiences about our classmates and teachers help us to understand more about this issue. Besides, we acquire some useful knowledge to confront these situations and improve ourselves to do our best, understanding how test works and how to deal with them. Because at the end of the day, it's just a test and nothing more than that. So be prepared and relax, but don't be stressed. Thanks for watching.